In this video, I want to share the 3 steps to automate anything in your business, especially as a beginner. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Konstantinos and I help 6- and 7-figure agencies get back 40+ hours per week using AI systems. I've spent hundreds of hours learning and building agents and systems for myself and clients, so maybe I can help you too. Now, by the end of this video, you will know not only the mindset behind creating systems and automations for your business, but also the actual steps to take when building automations as a beginner. So first, I'll share how I create systems for my agency and my clients, and then we'll build a simple automation together, going through the exact same steps. Now, if you stick along till the end of this video, you will have, in my opinion, all the foundational knowledge for how to go about automating your business. Let's dive in. Now, for the sake of this video, we'll assume that you have a sales process that looks like this, as it's outlined in this Miro board. It starts from a booked call that comes from a newsletter or a calendar link straight from your social media. Then after somebody books a call with you, you have to qualify them, probably through a form they have to fill out, and then you, based on if they're qualified or not, you do certain actions. For example, if they are qualified and you want to have the call with them, you send some kind of pre-call resources, or if they're not qualified, maybe you disqualify them with an email. Now, if they don't seem like a good fit and you want to cancel the call, maybe you send it like a disqualify email, or you redirect them to a different provider. Or if they are a good fit, but they don't seem qualified financially, for example, maybe you want to send them like a lead magnet to warm them up so you can follow up in the future. Now, in any of these cases, you then update your CRM, whatever you're using, whether it's like HubSpot or whatever it is, and then you have the sales call. All right. Now, this is the manual way, let's say, that you're doing it. Again, this is just an assumption for this video. Now, the first step that I recommend when you want to automate something in your business is not to find automate one specific thing, because you will get confused, you will get overwhelmed, and especially as a beginner, it will be hard to keep track of everything, of all the little automations you're building. So the first step is not this, but is to actually, for me, it helps me a lot to draw it on literally on a single piece of paper and brainstorm exactly what's happening right now, what's the current picture looks like, so you can see basically what's going on. So you can take it from your brain to literally on a piece of paper, so you can see, so you can put it visually on a piece of paper, the process that you're going through. And after you put it on a piece of paper, then you transfer it to a board like this. I'm using Miro right now, but it's also Figma. Now from here, especially again as a beginner, you can automate parts of the process or the whole process if it seems doable. Now, after you transfer your nodes to a board like this, before you start automating anything, you have to look at this process here to see what can be automated. So for example, this is like the process that it looks like, your process looks like right now. And then you can maybe do something like this, which is actually pretty similar or identical. It's just like we changed the qualified lead to auto qualify. And then instead of manually updating the CRM, you there's an automation that updates the CRM accordingly based on what's happening right here. Again, this part might feel like, okay, so how do I start automating this? And this is where I wanted to share that you don't need right away to automate the whole process. Again, in the beginning, if you're more advanced, maybe this video is not even for you, but if you are a beginner, you have an agency, you want to start automating your business, you can start piece by piece to automating these things. And as you get more experience using the automation tools, you can build more and more complicated automations, let's say. Now, in terms of creating automations, you can use Zapier or Make.com or N8N. Now, obviously, the easiest one is Zapier, but the possibilities it has are much less than the other tools. But you can combine them. This is what I want to give here as a pro tip, right? This has helped me a ton as I was learning these automations myself and how to use these tools. Oftentimes you will need to combine these tools, and as you go, you basically can transfer automations from Zapier to another tool like Make.com or N8N. Now, the reason why I think it's a good idea to create this first before you start automating something, even if you want to automate just one piece, right? If you want, let's say for example, you want to, after somebody books a call, you want to update your CRM. Now, if you want to build just that, I wouldn't create this automation, because again, you should be able to look at the big picture and see basically what needs to happen, because otherwise, first of all, you will forget what automations you have created, and then if something breaks, you don't know what broke, right? It's like having a car, and when a piece breaks, you have to rebuild the whole car again. But if you have like little pieces together and you can see the big picture, then you know what piece broke and you can fix that. So you can save a lot of time by doing so. And again, it's more beginner friendly, like I like to call it. Now, to build this process, we're going to use N8N and Zapier to show you how you can combine two different tools to build one automation workflow. All right, so now we are in N8N, and we're going to build this automation together. So we're going to create basically this right here. So it should start with a booked call, regardless of if it's coming from the newsletter or like a booked call from social media. So we are here, we're going to choose trigger event to be Calendly. Okay, we have this on event created. Now here you have to connect your Calendly account, and I've already done it. So we have this here. Now the next step is to send the data into a Google Sheet, which will have the, each row will be a booked call for lead scoring. So we're gonna go to Google Sheet. We have 10 row in Sheet. Now one thing that I forgot here is that we need an AI agent. So we're gonna choose this AI agent. And the way I set it up, I basically went to ChatGPT, and I said basically that what I want to create, I want an AI agent that basically is processing the info from a booked call from Calendly. I gave it the questions, the form that I have, and the criteria, and I said give me back the system prompt for the AI agent in N8N and the user message example. So I basically copied that. Let's do this together. So system prompt example. I'm gonna go here, system message. Now what I also did is I created using mockup data. So I basically said, you know, I have this call, give me back the mockup data for this event. And what it gave me is basically this. So we have like an example here. Let me save that. I booked the call basically with myself. The questions basically are, what is the company name? What is the size of the company? What is the main challenge that's holding you back from scaling? What's your budget towards solving that problem? And I think that's about it. So for this example, all right, so we are continuing with this example. So here, all right, so I pasted the prompt, the user message that says a new lead has filled out the strategy call form. Here are the responses. We mapped the responses here. Please provide a lead score from 1 to 10 based on the criteria. A short explanation for the score. And the system message, which I generated using ChatGPT, I basically explained what I want to have here. You don't need to write it yourself manually every time. So basically I say here, you're a lead qualification assistant for a digital agency. Your job is to analyze incoming lead form responses and assign a lead score from 1 to 10, where 10 is highly qualified, ideal client, and 1 is not a fit at all. So here I give it like based on the form that I have, the budget, the company size, the pain point. And again, this is just for the example, for the sake of this video. Your output should include a score from 1 to 10, a short 1 to 2 sentence explanation, justifying the score. Okay, this is important for us to know how the AI is thinking, so we can tweak it if needed. So we have that, and the next thing is to add a chat model. So we're gonna go for an OpenAI chat model. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here, and we're gonna add an output parser, and we're gonna give it an example here that how we want it to score and the explanation. All right, so let me save that. So let's run this agent. Okay, so the lead score it gave us is a 6, and says the lead has a moderate budget, which is below the ideal 5K plus, and the company size is not specified in clear employee numbers, which lowers the score. However, the pain point is clear and relates to time savings and operational efficiency, indicating a potential focus on growth and systemization. Now, this is based on the criteria that I gave it in the system message, so you can again tweak it based on your needs. So going back into the Google Sheet, we want to transfer this data to our lead scoring Google Sheet, which is this, and we're gonna map the values to this Google Sheet. So all right, so we go to Calendly trigger, we choose the name, we grab the email, the company name, the headcount, which is 2 to 10, the biggest challenge, the budget, and then we have the lead score here and the explanation in the status. Okay, so when we run that, it should populate lead score in Google Sheet. If we go here, here it is. We have it right here. And let's continue with the workflow. Now, the two things that can happen here in this example is to either send the pre-call resources and normally have the call, or to warm them up by sending them some kind of free resource for them to look at. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna go switch with a switch node, and we're gonna say basically that score, it's the score, 3. So if this is the case, if this is less than the 3, this is nurture, the output. And the next one is gonna be again the same one is a number greater than 3. Okay, and this is gonna be qualified. All right, perfect. So we're gonna execute the step. So we're gonna see that first here, nurture qualified. We're gonna execute the step. We're gonna send this to qualified. All right, you see it's qualified, and from here accordingly we have to send an email. Now send a message. Now if the lead needs nurturing, we can send them an email with a free resource, and you can choose whether you want to have the call or not, or you normally have the call, you send them some kind of pre-call resources that you want them to go over. Again, this is just for the example. Now, if you want to cancel the call, and this is something that I want to add here for the purpose of this video, how to find workarounds in case you can't figure out something A or B, the option you want, it doesn't exist in N8N, or you just don't know how to do this, right? It might be the case also that you don't know how to do this using a specific tool, like for example N8N. So if you want to cancel the call, and let's say you go here and say, okay, let me find here this example, I want to cancel the call. So if I go to Calendly, you don't see any action that allows you to cancel the call. Now in this case, what I would do is I would combine a different tool that is easier and it has this option, for example Zapier, and I would combine this with my workflow to do what I want to do. So here, if you in this example, right, so we have nurture below 3 lead score, we send them a message to nurture them with a resource, right? And here we send the pre-call resources. So we can create a Zap here. Now this is like super beginner friendly. If you don't know how to do something, you can combine different tools. By the way, you don't need the paid version of Zap because we're gonna create like a 2-step Zap. So here we're gonna say Google Sheet. All right, we have Google Sheet, and we're gonna choose new spreadsheet row. This is what we want. We're gonna connect the account, and we want the spreadsheet that we created, lead scoring, and the worksheet is new calls. Let me continue and test that. Perfect. So we have this one right here. This is the one that we just did together, so I'll continue with that. And the next one is gonna be to cancel the call. And here if I go to Calendly, action event, I see it says cancel an event. So cancel scheduled event, with specific reason for the cancellation, cancels an event. So we don't want to add a reason, cancel an event. Okay, I need to connect it with my Zapier here. And there we are. We connected currently with Zapier. Now there's one thing that we're missing here that I forgot to add in our lead scoring. We need a column here that's basically a unique identifier for the specific event. And this we will grab it from the actual call booked from Calendly. So this should be somewhere here, but this is because I generated this using ChatGPT. It's not like an actual event that was booked. Here you have to map basically the unique identifier, right? So in a real example, you have the unique identifier here, and then you have to go here, and in the new column you'll create, you will map the unique identifier from N8N into the Google Sheet that you have here. And then when you go to Zapier, right, and you want to cancel an event, you have to you have to map the value and find the new column that you will have with the unique identifier for you to cancel the event. And after that is done, you can continue and then publish that Zap. And then you can go back to the N8N workflow and create these emails. Now you can, again, go here, link the email, the subject line, and a message here. And you can do the same thing for pre-call resources or some kind of nurturing free resource for them to go over. And that's basically how you do it. Now, if you want to add like links or whatever, like you want to add in the message, you can again use ChatGPT to convert this, or like not ChatGPT, like you can find like a normal website, drop the template of the email template there and say convert it to HTML. So you can drop it here, HTML type, you can drop it here. Okay, and you test it and you see if you like it and you go from there. So this is a simple workflow that we created using N8N and Zapier, and this is something I wanted you to take away from this video, that if you don't know how to do something and you are stuck and you want something to get done, you can combine different tools, because here I have this workflow, the trigger is the calendar event, and somewhere in the process it adds a row in a Google Sheet which we can use as a trigger for a Zap, right? So we can combine basically 2 different automations. Okay, and if you want to make this a little bit more advanced, you can also add an AI step here to draft an email for you, right? So you give it basically a knowledge base. I'll give you like a quick example. So you have here an AI agent. Okay, you can connect this to a chat model, OpenAI, and then you have some kind of like Google document, right? So this can be your knowledge base for how to respond to certain emails, and you populate that. Again, you use ChatGPT to give it like some system problem message, but again, that's not the purpose of this video, but I give you some ideas for how to make this better or more advanced workflow. And you can even add steps to search their website to collect more information so you can prepare for call if you are more like B2B. That's all for this video. As I mentioned, if you want to grab the template of this workflow that we just created, you can find it in the link down in the description below. And if you want to work with me, you can book a free AI business audit by clicking the link down in the description below, where we will identify automations that have the biggest leverage on your time that you can start building immediately. And if you haven't done this already, subscribe to the channel so you can see all my future tutorials that will be helpful for you and your agency. See you in the next one.